in reality, all are within the reach of an array of thousands of Iranian one-way UAVs and Iranian short-term ballistic missiles.
Iran has announced the integration of 1,000 strategic drones into the combat formations of all 4 branches of its armed forces, marking a major expansion of its unmanned aerial warfare capabilities. According to WANA reports on January 29th, the large-scale deployment was carried out under direct instructions from Iran's commander-in-chief, highlighting top-level endorsement of the program. Military sources claim the new drone units were developed in response to renewed threats of war and incorporate lessons learned from the June 2025 conflict that saw heavy regional fighting. These unmanned systems are reportedly capable of conducting strike, attack, reconnaissance, and electronic warfare missions, giving the Iranian military unprecedented operational scope. Officials say the drones can engage both fixed and mobile targets across land, air, and maritime domains, allowing flexible deployment under multi-theater conditions. An army spokesperson warned that Iran would deliver an immediate and decisive response to any attack by US forces, reflecting Tehran's heightened state of alert. The Iranian military further cautioned that US bases stationed throughout the region, and even deployed aircraft carriers, could be designated as potential targets in the event of conflict. Iran military spokesperson said, and I quote, "A decisive response will be delivered instantly. US aircraft carriers have serious vulnerabilities and numerous American bases are within the range of our medium-range missiles. If such a miscalculation is made by the Americans, it will certainly not unfold the way Trump imagines, carrying out a quick operation and then, 2 hours later, tweeting that the operation is over." Unquote. Iran is reportedly intensifying efforts to strengthen its long-range strike capabilities amid escalating fears of open conflict with both the United States and Israel. Defense analysts estimate that Tehran currently controls a stockpile of roughly 2,000 ballistic missiles along with hundreds of other advanced projectile systems, giving it one of the largest arsenals in the region. Iranian state media claim the country has successfully tested a new ballistic missile boasting an estimated range of 10,000 kilometers, a development that, if verified, would represent a major leap in reach and deterrence. Such a range would theoretically place the continental United States within striking distance of Tehran, a capability that could alter the global balance of nuclear and conventional threat dynamics. Meanwhile, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio acknowledged that American forces stationed across the Gulf region could be targeted by Iran in the event of further escalation, underscoring mounting concerns within Washington.
We notice a lot of movement into the region by our Navy and other authorities. But what happens if the supreme leader is removed in Iran? What happens next?
Well, that's an open question. I mean, no one knows who would take over. Obviously, their system is divided between the supreme leader and the IRGC that responds directly to him. And then you've got these, quasi-elected individuals, the ones that wear the suits on television who are part of their political branches, but ultimately have to run everything they do by the supreme leader. So I don't think anyone can give you a simple answer as to what happens next in Iran if the supreme leader and the regime were to fall, other than the hope that there would be some ability to have somebody within their systems that you could work towards a similar transition. I would imagine it would be even far more complex than the one we're describing now, because you're talking about a regime that's in place for a very long time. So that's going to require a lot of careful thinking if that eventuality ever presents itself. On the issue of our presence in the region, here's the baseline I want to set for everybody. The baseline is this. We have 30 to 40,000 American troops stationed across 8 or 9 facilities in that region. All are within the reach, theoretically, not theoretically, in reality, all are within the reach of an array of thousands of Iranian one-way UAVs and Iranian short-term ballistic missiles, short-range ballistic missiles that threaten our troop presence. We have to have enough force and power in the region, just on a baseline, to defend against that possibility. That at some point, as a result of something, the Iranian regime decides to strike at our troop presence in the region. The president always reserves the preemptive defensive option. In essence, if we have indications that in fact they're going to attack our troops in the region, to defend our personnel in the region. We also have security agreements, the Defense of Israel Plan and others, that require us to have a force posture in the region to defend against that. And so I think it's wise and prudent to have a force posture within the region that could respond and potentially, not necessarily what's going to happen, but if necessary, preemptively prevent the attack against thousands of American servicemen and other facilities in the region and our allies. I hope it doesn't come to that. But that's, I think, what you're seeing now, is the ability to posture assets in the region to defend against what could be an Iranian threat against our personnel. They certainly have the capability to do it because they've amassed thousands and thousands of ballistic missiles that they've built. Despite the fact that their economy is collapsing, they keep spending money.
The United States is rapidly increasing its military presence across the Middle East as tensions with Iran continue to surge, signaling a sharp shift toward heightened readiness. President Donald Trump announced that a second armada is now beautifully floating toward Iran, describing it as a visible demonstration of American resolve. Officials say the sudden boost in naval power stems from intelligence warnings that the U.S. was not ready to engage in a full-scale conflict with Iran under current force levels. Analysts note that with only 30,000 deployed troops, limited tactical aircraft, and 6 operational warships in theater, the U.S. currently lacks the sustained firepower to inflict severe damage on Iranian targets. Meanwhile, Iran has responded by deploying 2 strategically important submarines to waters near the U.S. naval fleet, a move viewed as a direct signal of readiness and deterrence. In a separate announcement, Tehran revealed an extensive network of underground tunnels constructed beneath its coastal terrain, reportedly housing hundreds of cruise missiles poised for rapid launch.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that Rubio will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.